The bus station was loud and cold, but no one seemed to notice the young woman sitting on the bench in the far corner, her hands protectively cradling her swollen belly. Her name was Maya, just 23, and she had nowhere left to go. She had run away that morning, clutching a small duffel bag and the little bit of cash she'd been saving from her part-time job. Her boyfriend had left weeks ago when he found out about the baby, and her family had told her she had made her bed. So she left, alone, scared. By the time she reached the station, she had no plan, no ticket, only exhaustion and a stomach that growled louder than the bus's. Maya sat, staring at the ground, fighting tears. She didn't want anyone to see her cry. The world had already seen her at her most vulnerable and turned its back. That's when she heard a voice. "Sweetheart." The voice was warm, soft like a quilt being wrapped around her shoulders. Maya looked up and saw an elderly woman, silver hair tucked under a knitted hat, a floral scarf tied neatly around her neck. Her kind blue eyes seemed to see right through Maya's forced composure. "You look like you could use a hot meal," the woman said gently. Maya hesitated. Strangers weren't always safe. But there was something about this woman that felt different. Safe, like a grandmother she never had. The woman introduced herself as Granny Elsie. She held out her hand, not to demand, not to pull, just an invitation. "Come with me, dear. Just a cup of soup. No strings." Maya's stomach made the choice for her. The diner across the street smelled of coffee and fresh bread. Elsie ordered chicken noodle soup, a sandwich, and a glass of milk for Maya, insisting she eat slowly. Halfway through the meal, Maya's tears finally came. "I'm alone," she whispered, voice shaking. "I don't even know where I'll sleep tonight. I can't do this." Elsie reached across the table and took Maya's hand. Her skin was wrinkled but warm. "You are doing it," Elsie said softly. "You showed up. You kept going. That's braver than you think." When the meal was done, Elsie didn't let Maya leave. Instead, she guided her back to her little house a few blocks away. Inside was cozy, soft blankets, the smell of cinnamon, photos of smiling children and grandchildren covering the mantel. "You can stay here tonight," Elsie said, already laying fresh sheets on the couch. "Tomorrow we'll figure out next steps together." Maya wanted to refuse, but the warmth of the house melted her defenses. She stayed. That one night turned into a week. In those days, Elsie taught Maya how to make hearty breakfasts, let her sit in the garden soaking up sunlight, and listened, really listened to her fears and dreams. "You are not a mistake," Elsie told her one afternoon, brushing Maya's hair gently like a mother would. "And neither is that baby. You are both exactly where you're meant to be." But Elsie's kindness went further. She called a friend who worked at a local shelter that specialized in helping young mothers. Within days, Maya had a safe apartment lined up, access to prenatal care, and a community of women who could support her. When the day came for Maya to move in, she didn't want to leave. "You've been my only safe place," she told Elsie. Hugging her tightly, Elsie smiled through tears. "That's what we're meant to be for each other, dear. Safe places. Now go build that for your little one." Months later, Maya stood in the doorway of Elsie's house again, this time with a baby girl in her arms. "She's here," Maya said, her voice full of emotion. "Her name is Grace." Elsie's hands trembled as she held the baby. "Grace," she repeated, tears streaming down her cheeks. "Perfect." And for the first time, Maya realized Elsie had saved not just her life, but her baby's future. The world often turns away from those who need help the most. But one act of kindness, a warm meal, a place to rest, a listening ear, can change everything. Sometimes, all it takes is one granny with an open heart to remind us that no one is truly alone.